Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Armored Thanos Build-A-Figure Wave overview. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
Alright, so I just want to take a casual laid-back look at this wave. Most of you know I don't collect too many of the movie figures from Marvel Legends, but I did want to complete Thanos' Black Order, his crew, and so I said, you know what, let me pick up this wave. I saw it on the shelf at Forbidden Planet the other day. I walked over there, just cut out of work for a few minutes and walked over there. And to my surprise, I saw this. I was actually looking for the X-Men wave. I was hoping, you know, it was a Wednesday. They normally get new books. They get new figures. I figured I'd be able to grab the X-Men wave since it was popping up at Target, but no dice there. However, I did pick this up. Most of you guys know I don't do too many movie figures as far as Legends go. I normally do the import route for the movie figures, but I wanted to complete the Black Order. And so I got every figure needed to complete Thanos, and of course I had to get more back there, and I left Captain America on the pegs because he was not necessary to complete the Build-A-Figure. So I'm gonna go in order of how they appear on the back of the packaging, left to right, and Captain America was first, so I won't have anything to say about him. But let's get into Ronin. Ronin's bio reads, Clint Barton is a master sharpshooter and skilled martial artist who fights alongside the Avengers. Now, some years back in the comic books, when the normal Avengers, the regular heroes, were sort of outlawed, or they were the outlaws and kind of being chased by the Dark Avengers, and this was during the Dark Reign time. Clint Barton, Hawkeye, had took up the mantle of Ronin. This was around the time where the Skrull invasion was happening. There was a lot going on. It was actually a great time in comic books, but there was some speculation and some question as to who was under the mask. At first, there was a female under the mask. Her name was Maya something. She's got a code name too. I can't remember right this moment, but some pictures should be popping up. And then after that, there was speculation as to who was behind the mask. And I think most people at that time had guessed that it was Hawkeye. But yeah, it ended up being Hawkeye, and he ended up being some cool ninja dude. And the outfit at the time was pretty cool. So, you know, a lot of the things in the MCU are obviously derived directly from the comic books. So I guess this will be some dark time for Hawkeye, and we'll see what's going on with this costume. But I think the costume looks great, and I think Marvel Legends did a really nice job on this figure. Now, I did see a little tutorial the other day that I thought was phenomenal that I'll link in the description below to give this figure more mobility, but it does have great articulation still, but there is ways that you can actually even push this figure more to the limit. He came with two swords. Everything here is removable. You can take this off, you can take the coat off, you can take off the hood, and you can take off the head and put an unmasked head on there. And I think Legends did a really nice job with this figure. This is probably one of my favorites out of the wave. It's one I would definitely recommend that you pick up. And I guess we'll see what'll happen with this costume and the movie, which is just 2 weeks away. I joked today because they debuted the Hot Toys version of this this figure, this character, and we also saw the import S.H.Figuarts version a couple weeks ago too. So I'm gonna hold on to this guy, and I'll be able to stack him up next to the import version at some time. But again, this is one I would definitely recommend. This is a great one from the wave. It should be noted he had an interchangeable hand here with these sort of throwing stars, this effect like he's throwing the stars. And the tutorial that I'm gonna link, they show you how to like cut this off and give you more playability with this extra hand as well. So really good tutorial. I recommend you watch it. Moving forward. And taking a look at Ebony Maw next, his bio reads, the dangerous assassin Ebony Maw puts his powers of persuasion to sinister use in service of evil Thanos. So this was a great addition here from Hasbro when they teased this at New York Comic Con last year, or was that Toy Fair? I don't know. I think it was Toy Fair actually. I was definitely excited to pick this guy up. When I saw him and Corvus Glaive, I knew that I wanted to complete my Black Order, and they did a great job here. Totally new sculpt, so this is something that we've never seen before. I don't know how they could reuse this, and it's pretty movie accurate, but geez, my focus is all over the place here. And it's movie accurate, but one of my issues with this guy is the hair color. I wish was a different color. It's almost kind of blended in with his skin color, and I wish they would have actually done something to give it a little more distinction, some more shading or what have you. But he's got double jointed elbows, he's got pretty decent articulation, and he's really tall, man. But this was great to actually complete our Black Order. This is another one I would highly recommend just for the new scope alone. The fact that it's a brand new scope is nice, but a little lackluster on the paint applications is probably my major issue with this guy. Still decent. And it should be noted that Ebony Maw didn't come with any accessories either, so it would have been nice to have some sort of effect to show his powers of telekinesis or something. But anyway, so up next is Living Laser. His bio reads, driven mad by jealousy, the brilliant research scientist Arthur Parks becomes the villainous Living Laser. This is probably my second least favorite out of the wave. This was one that I was actually anticipating, and I'm glad that we got him as a character that we've never received in the Legends line before, and it's a classic Avengers villain, so that's all great. But I'm just not a fan of how they went along with putting him together here. I don't like the fact that you can't turn his head really left and right without making it look kind of awkward, and I don't like the fact that they use the somebody calling me. I do like the fact that they use a very articulated buck, but I don't like the laziness here because it's pretty much the Spider-Man 2099 buck, and they just left everything on him and just gave him a different paint job. I would have liked to see them do some things that were truly unique to this character, aside from the head. The head does pop off though, so that should be noted, that you can pop the head off. And like I said, you can turn it a little bit, and I do like the actual head sculpt as something, again, that's brand new, and it is great articulation with this buck, but you know, it just leaves a bit to be desired, and it just really wasn't what I was expecting from the finished product for this guy. Still, it's a character that we've never received before, and you know how I always advocate for that as far as adding to your Marvel Universe in 6-inch form. And I forgot to mention that Living Laser did come with a couple of effects. These were the effects that we first saw with Storm from the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure wave, if I'm not mistaken. These are just sort of like a white with a little hue of like pinkish in them or something like that. So they could be used, you know, it's not, I'd rather have something than nothing, so I'm not going to complain. Up next, we're looking at Nighthawk. His bio reads, originally a member of Squadron Sinister, the wealthy Kyle Richmond has a change of heart and joins the Defenders. So yes, a classic member of the Defenders, so you're getting close to completing a couple of different renditions of the Defenders, so that's great. It's a character that we never received before. This whole cape thing is like really extravagant. I mean, it's accurate to the comic books, to the look in the comic book, but you know, I'm kind of getting sick of this mold being used over and over. I want them to continue to use more bucks with the butterfly joints, and the paint applications here on the chest look a little weird. I'm not really a fan of how the claws look on the hand. I think they could have did a bit better job on this guy overall, so I'm not really a fan of this. And again, this whole cape thing, while it is accurate, is really kind of a pain in the ass. It might not look that great when you try to set them up in some displays and stuff like that. So this is one that was just kind of meh for me in this wave, my least favorite for sure. Up next, I'm looking at Citizen V. His bio reads, Baron Helmut Zemo adopts the alias Citizen V and leads the heroic Thunderbolts into battle against various villains. So Hasbro seems to have an affinity for Thunderbolts characters. They've been giving us quite a few over the past like 10 years or something like that. So it would be cool to see them complete the team that he led. It'd be nice to get an Atlas Build-A-Figure. We already got Songbird, I think there was some time where Mach 5, I think it's Mach 5, was mentioned or teased or talked about or something. So I don't know. To complete that team would be pretty cool. And this was one that surprised me. Even though it's on a buck that I'm sick of seeing, they still did a pretty good job here. And it's another sort of extravagant sort of cape or cloak piece with this guy, but it's not as annoying as Nighthawk's. He did come with this little sword here, and this is something that we've talked about on the podcast, maybe being an indication that we'll get a Corsair at some point. It's probably the same sword that's going to come with Nightcrawler when he drops. You can obviously remove this this cloak from him as well, and these armbands and boots and stuff like that I think we've seen before. I want to say they've come with maybe Cap the boots, and I don't know who the armbands came with, but I feel like I've seen them before. And this is something that they'll probably reuse. Looks like the head sculpt is something new, or maybe the head is not new, but this sort of faceplate is new. It's a decent figure, you know, it's what you would expect from this buck, and it is a character that we've never received before for the most part, so good on them for that. And the final regular figure in this wave is Hercules. His bio reads, an immortal champion of Olympus, Hercules uses his immense strength to battle evil and protect the world. This is my favorite figure in the wave. This was very well done by Hasbro. Totally new buck here, so something that we've never seen before and something that I'm sure they will utilize quite a bit more moving forward for some of the bigger brutes out there. Great set of accessories here. He came with his sword and his little mace thing, and they can be sheathed on his little apparatus here, and this looks great. You can remove this, and I've already seen people taking his head off and swapping on other bigger guys' heads. That may work. His little wristbands here can be removed as well. He came with an interchangeable set of hands, so some open hands, so he can hold his weapons. And, you know, this is just a great figure through and through. There's a great head sculpt on this guy. He's got that funny sort of Hercules smirk. I'm hoping that we may see an Amadeus Cho or something down the line, or some of the other characters from the Mighty Avengers team that he was part of some years back, even though I didn't really like some of those costumes. But there was Stature on the team, who was Hank Pym's daughter. And Pym was on the team as the Wasp in a terrible costume. And I don't know, a couple other people were on there. Some pictures should be popping up. But man, a great modern look for Hercules. And he looks excellent. Again, the articulation is great. And there's a lot of playability with this guy. This was long overdue. I know a lot of people wanted to see a classic Hercules, but I'm cool with the modern look here. This one deserves much respect and props for Hasbro on this guy. They did a great job. And finally, taking a look at the armored Thanos here. So this is how he appeared in the beginning of Avengers Infinity War, and in some flashback scenes in that movie before he took off the armor and had his sort of casual look throughout the movie. And this is probably our like 5th or 6th Thanos in the past like 2 or 3 years from Marvel Legends. And they still can't really get it all the way right here, man. This is like so disappointing, and probably, I won't say it's my least liked figure, but if this Build-A-Figure would have turned out better, this would have brought the whole wave together much, much better. It would have been a much nicer wave overall. But I mean, I just can't really see too many things that I like about this guy at all. I'm not really a fan of the skin color, which they seem to get wrong on the original Thanos, and then in the box set one they fixed it, and now they're back to Barney purple here. And the armor in general just looks bad, man. It's just not enough paint applications. This looks really cheap. It looks like, you know, it looks like the kids line that you see put out by Hasbro or whoever's doing the other line. It doesn't really look like a Marvel Legend. And I mean, come on, we've gotten 2 heads with plenty of Build-A-Figures. We just got 2 heads with the Kingpin Build-A-Figure. They could have given us 1 head without this sort of gritted teeth look. I don't really like this head sculpt at all. And I feel like they kind of downsized this BAF a little bit too, and that he could have been, or should have been, a bit larger in this armor. The actual gauntlet here looks pretty good though. The paint applications on that looks good. It looks weathered. It looks almost like it's sort of like a metal or some sort of metal. but you don't see that shining through and through in this armor, man. And I don't like that he has this facial expression when you want to just get him vanilla with the crew. You know, it just doesn't look that great. But I'm actually waiting for my Corvus Glaive to come in the mail. Shout out to my man Emmanuel. And then I'll probably get something going with all of them at some point. I definitely want to set up some sort of display so I could talk about in-game after I see it, the day that I do see it, and do an early non-spoiler review. But man, I really wish this guy came out better. There is okay articulation, single jointed elbow though, that swivels. He's got ab articulation, you know, but man, I'm disappointed with this figure. So that's pretty much it for this wave. Thanks for hanging out. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.
I forgot he comes with this little bladed weapon thing too. So heard a lot of people saying, what does he need the bladed weapon for if he's got the gauntlet? I think this is going to be something in flashback scenes in the movie. We kind of talked about this on the podcast, but really no detail or anything on this. It doesn't look that great. And yeah.